Los Angeles, a city of dreams, but for 25 years a nightmare lurked in its shadows. A predator stalked the streets, preying on the vulnerable. He became known as the Grim Sleeper. His reign of terror left a community paralyzed by fear. The killings began in the 1980s. South Los Angeles, a place grappling with poverty and social unrest, became his hunting ground. Women, often marginalized and forgotten, vanished without a trace. Their disappearances barely registered with the outside world, but whispers of a boogeyman spread like wildfire through the streets. Fear seeped into everyday life. Women were afraid to walk alone at night. The police seemed powerless to stop the carnage. The killer earned his chilling moniker, the Grim Sleeper. He would seemingly vanish for years, only to resurface with renewed brutality. Each time, he left behind a trail of devastation and despair. South Los Angeles in the 1980s and 90s was a place teeming with life, but also riddled with hardship. Crack cocaine ravaged communities. Gang violence cast a long shadow. Against this backdrop of despair, the Grim Sleeper found his prey. His victims were often overlooked by society. They were mothers struggling to make ends meet, women caught in the grip of addiction, their lives deemed less worthy by a world that had already failed them. Their disappearances were often met with indifference, their stories quickly fading from memory. But behind each victim was a family left shattered. Mothers mourned daughters snatched away too soon. Children grew up without knowing the love and warmth of their mothers. The Grim Sleeper didn't just take lives, he ripped apart the very fabric of families and communities. The fear he instilled was palpable. Women were terrified to walk alone, especially at night. The streets, once bustling with life, became eerily quiet. The Grim Sleeper had cast a dark spell over South Los Angeles. Lonnie Franklin Jr., the man who would become the Grim Sleeper, was meticulous in his cruelty. He targeted black women, often those living high-risk lifestyles. He lured them with promises of drugs or money, exploiting their vulnerabilities. He knew they wouldn't be missed. His crimes were as horrific as they were calculated. He would often sexually assault his victims before shooting them at close range, their bodies dumped in alleyways or trash cans like discarded garbage. The brutality of his crimes sent shockwaves through the community. There was a chilling pattern to his madness. He would photograph his victims, their lifeless eyes staring back at him, their faces contorted in terror. These trophies of his depravity, hidden away in his home, would become crucial pieces of the puzzle. For years, the Grim Sleeper operated with impunity. The police seemed powerless to stop him. The lack of progress fueled rumors and speculation. Was he a police officer himself? Was he protected by someone in power? The whispers grew louder, adding to the atmosphere of fear and paranoia. The breakthrough in the Grim Sleeper case came from an unlikely source: a discarded pizza crust. In 2010, detectives used familial DNA, a new and controversial technique to link the crimes to Lonnie Franklin Jr. The pizza crust eaten by his son provided the missing link. The news of Franklin's arrest sent shockwaves through South Los Angeles. The unassuming garbage man, a seemingly ordinary man, had been hiding in plain sight. Neighbors who had known him for years found it impossible to reconcile the man they knew with the monster he truly was. Inside Franklin's home, investigators uncovered a treasure trove of evidence. Photographs of his victims, many previously unidentified, confirmed their worst fears. The Grim Sleeper's reign of terror was finally over. The discovery of the photographs brought a mix of relief and renewed grief to the families of the victims. Finally, they had answers. But it also meant confronting the horrific truth about their loved ones' final moments. Section 5, Justice, but no peace. A community haunted. In 2016, Lonnie Franklin Jr. was convicted of 10 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. He was sentenced to death. The trial provided a sense of closure, but it couldn't erase the pain and trauma he inflicted. The community, forever scarred by his crimes, struggled to come to terms with the enormity of his depravity. The Grim Sleeper's case exposed deep-seated racial and socio-economic biases within the criminal justice system. The fact that he was able to operate for so long preying on marginalized women, well, it raised some really uncomfortable questions about who society deems worthy of protection. Even after his conviction, a sense of unease lingered. Authorities believe Franklin may have been responsible for many more deaths, his true victim count perhaps exceeding 100. The Grim Sleeper may be gone, but the ghosts of his victims continue to haunt the streets of South Los Angeles. The case remains a stark reminder of the vulnerability of those living on the margins and the importance of amplifying their voices. The fight for justice for all victims, regardless of their background, must continue. Section 6. Unanswered questions, the Grim Sleeper's true toll. The Grim Sleeper's reign of terror may be over, but the full extent of his crimes remains shrouded in mystery. Authorities believe he could be responsible for dozens of other unsolved murders, his true victim count lost in the labyrinth of time and circumstance. The passage of time makes it increasingly difficult to connect the dots, to give names and faces to the women whose lives were tragically cut short. The missing pieces of the puzzle haunt investigators and families alike. The potential for more victims is a chilling reminder that even in the face of justice, some wounds never truly heal. The Grim Sleeper's legacy extends far beyond his conviction, a testament to the enduring power of evil. His case serves as a stark warning about the dangers of indifference and the importance of vigilance. We must remain vigilant in our pursuit of justice and strive to create a world where all lives are valued and protected. Section 7. Beyond the Grave. The Legacy of Fear. Lonnie Franklin Jr. died on death row in 2019, his execution delayed by years of appeals. But his death provided little solace to the families of his victims, their pain still raw, their sense of loss immeasurable. The Grim Sleeper's shadow continues to loom large over South Los Angeles, a constant reminder of the vulnerability of those living on the margins. His crimes exposed cracks in the fabric of society, highlighting the disparities in how crimes against certain communities are investigated and prosecuted. The fear he instilled in the hearts of so many lingers, a testament to the lasting impact of trauma. The Grim Sleeper may be gone, but the echoes of his evil reverberate through the years. His case serves as a stark reminder that monsters can hide in plain sight, their true nature concealed beneath a veneer of normalcy. It underscores the importance of speaking up for the vulnerable and holding those in power accountable. Section 8. Lessons in Blood, Protecting the Vulnerable. The Grim Sleeper's reign of terror forced a reckoning within law enforcement and society at large. The case exposed systemic biases, highlighting the need for greater sensitivity and responsiveness to crimes against marginalized communities. The use of familial DNA in solving the case sparked a national debate about privacy and ethical considerations in criminal investigations. While instrumental in bringing Franklin to justice, it also raised concerns about potential misuse and the need for clear guidelines. The Grim Sleeper's legacy serves as a stark reminder of the importance of community policing and building trust between law enforcement and the communities they serve. Only through collaboration and mutual respect can we hope to prevent such tragedies from occurring in the future. His case also highlights the critical role of advocacy groups and community organizations in providing support for victims and their families. These groups offer a lifeline to those who have been marginalized and forgotten, ensuring their voices are heard and their stories are told. Section 9. The Enduring Mystery. What drove the sleeper? Despite his conviction, the question of what motivated Lonnie Franklin Jr. to commit such unspeakable acts remains unanswered. Some experts speculate that his time as a garbage collector, handling discarded items and witnessing the underbelly of society, may have played a role in his psychological development. Others point to potential head injuries he sustained during his military service as a possible contributing factor. The search for answers, for a deeper understanding of the darkness that dwelled within him, continues. But perhaps the most unsettling aspect of the grim sleeper case is the realization that some questions may never have answers. The human psyche is a complex and often unknowable landscape. The motivations behind such profound evil may forever remain elusive. And so the grim sleeper's story serves as a chilling reminder that monsters do exist, lurking in the shadows of our world. It is a story that compels us to confront the darkness within ourselves and to strive to create a world where such horrors are relegated to the annals of history.